Okay, hello and welcome. I'm going to do a quick demonstration of using ChatGPT to generate some SQL for an Oracle database. So you log into ChatGPT. Down here, as you know, it's a text-based interface, and so I'm just going to ask it how I might join two tables together and gather an aggregate from one table and display it as a result set. So starting from scratch, you have to tell it what language you're going to be using. In Oracle PLSQL, which is the programming language for Oracle, show me how to join two tables together in a single select statement where table 1 is the parent and table 2 is the child records, and I want to see an aggregate of the children. So we'll see what it thinks of that. So it immediately starts typing out a response and it gives you some SQL. And you can see it's doing this aggregate here, it's summing it up here. But then I'm going to say, actually that's not exactly what I want. So it's important to note that ChatGPT 3.5 is able to keep the context of what you're talking about. So you don't have to keep repeating what table 1 and table 2 are. It'll remember for you. And that's with any programming language. Because the programming languages are defined online and because they're formal and very structured, it's extremely easy for ChatGPT to generate code based on what it's learned. So I'm going to say I want okay, so it'll be children. The child results will be validation results for a parent, but there are multiple validation results, and if any one of them is a failure in the child set, then I want that parent to have failed. So, for example, I'm going to say, can I see the SQL when I have joined the table 1 and table 2, and table 2 has failures or passes, and if any child set for the parent has a fail, then that parent has failed. So you can see I'm being quite unclear and vague because I'm typing it as I type, as I go along. But if you think that ChatGPT hasn't followed you, you can keep repeating it until it figures out what you're talking about. I wasn't very clear there. But it has come back with fail and passes. It's counted. Let me see if this is what I'm looking for. So select case. Yes, this is it. So case when the count for the children is summed up and there's a fail in that count, then it's a fail, otherwise it's a pass, and that's an overall status. So it's given me exactly what I want. I can then copy that code and put it into my editor in SQL, modify the table names. Obviously, in the real world, they wouldn't be called table 1 or table 2, and if they are, that's the first thing you need to fix. But this would apply for any other programming language like Tableau or Java or any other, or Python. It's very, very strong on Python. So this is the way you would end up with code that might take you a few days to write, but by having a conversation with ChatGPT, you can end up with code that suits almost exactly your use case. This is exactly what I want. The only thing I need to change are the names of the objects, table 1, table 2. And of course, if I'd used the names that are in my real world situation, ChatGPT would have used those too. And also remember, it's kept the context. It knows what I meant by table 1 and table 2, in that table 1 was the parent and table 2 was the child. And it remembers that from the earlier statement I made to it. So it's able to remember the context and it's able to generate code that you should be able to lift into your project. And you don't stop until you get to that point, because you can keep clarifying what you want. And if it makes a mistake, it'll remedy that mistake if you point it out. So that's the end of that video, and I hope you found it informative.